and gentlemen, here we are in Game 3, potentially the last map. Hopefully not, but potentially the last map of the day. And spawning here in the top left corner, representing Team Navi, it is Minato.
And his opponent, currently up 2-0 in the series, one game away from taking home the first place prize from the Team Acer in the cherry red trunks. It is none other than DreamHack champion, Nerchio.
I wonder too, like, is Nerchio the type of guy who's just like, yeah, I'd love to be referred to as the DreamHack champion, I've got that ego, or is it just, no, I'm Nerchio, I kick ass, the end of story. I don't need DreamHack to accent how good I am.
I view DreamHack as a major tournament.
It's accomplishments, yeah.
I think, you know, throughout sports, you would typically name winners of cups, like, say, in MMA or in, say, golf, as, like, the champion of that. That's how you would intro him. So that's the logical reasoning I'm thinking about it. But whether he enjoys it, I bet he definitely does.
What if his teammate, MMA, was an MMA champion? What would you do for that?
I would probably, you know, follow him on Twitter and let him know that he's pretty badass.
Just stutter as you do the intros. Just like But guys, we have not an exceedingly early, but the spawning pool is first coming out of Nerchio. It's gonna allow him to get lings out, queen out faster, all that good jazz. But I imagine this will, I don't know. We were talking about like he wanted to make sure build orders were off, so we thought maybe there'd be some cheese. I don't know, but Nerchio looking to keep this pretty close to the vest for the time being.
Well, maybe he just doesn't want, say, like, someone to steal his build on ladder, because with ZOTAC you're able to add people to your friends list and you'd be like, oh, let me look to see what Nerchio did, so I'm gonna steal his build, or I don't even know.
Go on eBay with these replays, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, for those who are ever interested, if you're watching this VOD, the ZOTAC website does host their replays. This might not be up immediately by any means, but you will be able to get your hands on this replay for free just by going to their website. So you can check out the ZOTAC Cup. I think it's like my.starcraft.de is the official website hosting for the replays. But guys, if you go to the ZOTAC Cup, in the upper right corner, there is a section dedicated for replays. And if Nerchio is your favorite player, you want to try to copy his build on ladder, you can definitely get a hold of the replays from there.
Alright. So looking at what each player is doing, again, both are roundaboutly doing pretty much similar builds here. One of the benefits of Minato's build, he gets out 2 queens faster. You know, one of the benefits of Nerchio's build is that he already has a queen out on the field. So, you know, a slight deviation between the two builds, but obviously it comes down to personal preference, as both builds are viable. You know, each player wouldn't be doing them if they weren't viable in each situation here.
There's too much math involved with the precision of the injects compared to the build order. So there's a lot of players I talk to who are kind of the lower tier players, and they're like, oh, you know, one's clearly better than the other, and I'm like, no, it really is not. They're both very similar.
Yep. And as we can see that reflected in the, you know, production line here, metabolic boost almost lined up very similarly, but the big point is that the drone lead is now Nerchio's favor. Just got that drone lead and just transferring drones over to the natural. So, you know, in terms of the math, like, who knows who's currently in the lead at this point, but we do see a Baneling nest coming from Nerchio. So we were talking earlier about something crazy happening here. Rifkin, this has a lot of potential here with Ling speed and Banelings.
The Banelings are what really catch my eye here. It's the Evolution Chamber coming out of Minato once again. The Baneling nest is at a timing that it could be defensive, being that he's going for the Spine Collar at the same time. I don't know if Nerchio's expecting some sort of crazy all-in from Minato, but if he decides to go for the +1 armor all-in once again, it didn't really work the first time, dude. I can't see him pulling it off again.
Especially if Banelings are going to be the ones being the aggressors, or at least just being the defensive posture. You're right, it's tough to say what he's going to actually do with it as Nerchio, but he's going to be prepared like pretty much across the board.
Minato actually is collecting more gas this time. He didn't let off of gas. He's actually going to go for a second Evolution Chamber, try and crank those upgrades out lickety-split, but most importantly, by continuing on the gas, suddenly, yeah, hey, he can make a Baneling nest if he finds himself in trouble, instead of trying to put a Roach Horn down when it's already too late.
And interestingly enough here, Minato's going to be building a Spine Collar in his natural area to defend against potential, you know, attacks that could be coming here. He's taking a third base at the same time, which is scouted out directly by Nerchio with these Overlords. 16 Lings are in production, and it's kind of curious that he's making them so early when their upgrades really aren't that close to be completing yet. You know, Nerchio doing the same thing on the side of the field here, making upgrades, whereas he has not really made that many Lings in response. So we see different mentalities from both players. 9 drones being built by Nerchio, so he's really, really pushing the limit here with his drone count.
Yeah, Minato's, again, he's going to have this small window of opportunity. He did not capitalize on it in Game 1. Not saying it's his fault or anything. He's just unable to capitalize on it. So, I mean, what is this? I'm guessing about 20 seconds or so. He'll have the +1 when his opponent will not.
Looks like it's going to be an additional 35 seconds from this point now. And he's trying to hide Lings, so he wants to make this potently effective. But that Overlord for Nerchio will be scouting out. Shakti isn't bringing the Queen out to try to deflect that Overlord, but those injects are so important, so crucial at this point in time.
They are, but you know what? Like,
more units.
after you've got this many injects on the field, you can start sending the Queen out. The extra 4 seconds is worth so much more than the extra 6 Lings later on.
And here we go, 56 Lings just spotted by that Overlord moving out. Nerchio immediately responds by making Banelings, making more Zerglings. He's going to be going for his lair during all of this. The third base will definitely be canceled, no doubt in my mind here.
Minato has no Baneling Nest this time, though, despite what I was talking earlier. And he's hitting at a time where the Banelings are just now popping out to him.
Still got superior Ling numbers on the field, 44 to 20. Nerchio is making an additional 20, so that will even out in just a second here. And with the Banelings, you got to be thinking Nerchio has infinite ability to defend this. Oh man, he's only limited by his gash, which is severely climbing. And I mean, the upgrades are going to finish up. Minato maybe moving in a little bit preemptive here with the melee attacks not being done yet, but it feels like Nerchio's in complete control of this game, Rifkin.
Yeah, he has cleaned this up completely and entirely. Minato continued to reinforce a ton of Zerglings behind this, but he can't keep up. Without Banelings to trade for Banelings, pure Zerglings, even with +1, are not enough.
Yep, this is a terrible situation for Minato to be in. He's got his third base completed here, but Nerchio's point of attack is going to be that third immediately. Trying to actually surround Lings with Speedlings, crazy, you don't see that every day. But the Banelings are moving forward here, completely protected. One spot is going to go off trading one Baneling for one Baneling, but Minato, oh, gotta be so careful.
You know, Minato's actually got some great Zergling control. I do have to give him huge compliments on this,
Absolutely.
But not right there. Of course, it's as him complimenting him, he loses like all of his Zerglings.
Yep, and looking at the army supply here, 37 to the 28. Nerchio in a comfortable lead here, flooding more and more Lings across the field. These Lings are in the main base, taking down Queen, and every single drone will fall. They are definitely going to be running here, but more and more Lings being produced by Nerchio. Minato is going to respond by making 16 Lings of his own, and it's just simple math from here on out, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Nerchio will be our ZOTAC EU champion for this week, first week of July.
Minato, yeah, gotta give him credits. His control is great, but he's just getting outgamed by Nerchio. It's just a simple matter of Nerchio's playing a little bit smarter, not going for the Banelings. I don't know, Minato could pull this off against, I'd say, a good general amount of the Grandmasters, but not against Nerchio. And we've seen that he's holding this quite nicely. Lots of Banelings now going to flood in, take out the Spine Crawler. No, go straight for the Mineral Lines.
I like it. To go for the drones, just completely stifle your opponent's economy. He's even still trying to clean up. Well, roaches are on the field,
but he's lost so many workers at this point. He can't economy behind this.
21 to 46.
A total of 16 picked off. I mean, yeah, Nerchio's lost a lot of minerals. He's actually thrown a lot away with Banelings, but look at this. Zerglings will just surround the roaches, and they have +1. Roaches do not.
You know, if Minato had potentially had more Spine Crawlers to defend at his natural, maybe he would be in a better position here.
Very questionable. The big thing, well, no, because what Nerchio did was he zoned out Minato's Lings with the Banelings from behind when he was over here on the map, right? And Nerchio just ran through. Even if there were spines, he might have lost 3 more Zerglings, but he still would have gone straight through the main. He still would have gutted the workers. It's just the same way he did. A Queen going down once again. These injects so critical at this point in the game. Minato cannot afford to lose his Queens like this.
Finally adding on his own Baneling Nest. He needed this to defend against the Lings from allowing them to do these run-bys earlier on, but Minato is going to stabilize here temporarily in the game, but he's only down to 19 drones, Rifkin. Nerchio, meanwhile, is on 45 drones. His third base is just about to finish up. He's got a Queen there ready to hit an inject as soon as possible. Minato's pretty much only choice in this game is to go for a counterattack, but the roaches get surrounded in the middle of the field. Rifkin, these could be the final moments here, but he is making 24 Lings back at the main base to try to deflect this. Lings are now joining the fray for Minato here, and he should be cleaning up Nerchio's Lings.
The roaches are actually doing quite nicely here. Minato still so far behind, but he's not giving up yet. He's still doing a lot of damage to Nerchio, but Nerchio, it's still 45 workers to 19. Forget the army supply for a second, guys. I mean, the economy is just on Nerchio's side.
Huge factor is this +2/+2 is just about to finish up for Nerchio. There it is completed. He will have huge Stark advantages in moving forward in the game, and if he gets a Baneling Nest attack, Baneling attacks on those Banelings or on those Lings, he'd be in a good spot, but actually wasting them on roaches there, not the most optimal trade there for Nerchio, but the army supplies and the overall supplies tell the story of this game. 77 supply for Nerchio, 32 for Minato. Minato desperately moving forward, but has to tap out. ladies and gentlemen, Nerchio is your champion of this week in June's ZOTAC EU Cup.